The training facility hummed with restrained tension as cadets from 47 different species assembled for their annual reflex assessment, a ritual feared and respected across the Galactic Coalition. At the center of the chamber stood the testing machine, a flawless construct of Krillian engineering that had evaluated over 10 million soldiers across 3 centuries without a single recorded malfunction. Instructor Veleth, a towering Satari with crystalline skin that bent the overhead lights into shimmering rainbows, observed the line with practiced detachment. 4 of his 6 eyes followed the physical movements of the cadets, while the remaining 2 processed streams of performance data through his neural interface. One by one, candidates stepped forward. A Dendere cadet, its gelatinous body trembling with anxiety, completed the test with a respectable response time. Veleth logged the score with a click of approval. More cadets followed, a Voxen whose swift reactions drew impressed murmurs, and a massive Grand Warrior whose species favored strength over speed and predictably lagged behind. These results were expected. The machine existed to measure limits already understood. Then came Cadet Marcus Webb. Veleth had taught at the Academy for 30 standard cycles, yet humans remained an enigma. They were physically unimpressive by most galactic standards, short-lived, comparatively weak, and lacking specialized adaptations. Still, in the short time since humanity had joined the Coalition, they had developed an unsettling reputation. Veterans whispered about them with unease. When Marcus stepped forward, he did so with an almost careless ease. His movements appeared loose, relaxed, even lazy, until closer inspection revealed an underlying readiness, like coiled energy waiting to erupt. He was unremarkable by human standards, average height, dark cropped hair, eyes reflecting the familiar blue of Earth's skies. When asked if he understood the parameters, his reply carried a touch of humor, and Veleth's translator chip briefly struggled to interpret the sarcasm. Marcus assumed the starting position, rolling his shoulders and cracking his neck in what Veleth considered unnecessary biological rituals. The test began. At the first level, Marcus performed well but not exceptionally, averaging 142 milliseconds, adequate. As the machine doubled its speed for the second level, most cadets faltered. Marcus did not. His breathing settled, his focus sharpened, and his response time dropped dramatically. By the third level, when the machine exceeded conscious processing speeds for most species, Marcus continued with calm precision, his expression unchanged. The instructor's attention sharpened. Something about this human was different. As the test escalated into higher tiers, the atmosphere in the chamber shifted from routine observation to quiet tension. Veleth's 6th eye fixed entirely on Marcus as the third level concluded with a response time that dipped below 100 milliseconds. Such a result alone would have placed the human among elite performers of most species. Yet Marcus showed no sign of strain. His hands moved with efficient certainty, striking sensor pads in flawless sequence, as though guided by instinct rather than conscious thought. The fourth level activated, a tier designed less for achievement and more for defining theoretical limits. Veleth had witnessed this level conquered only 3 times in his long career, each by Voxen warriors whose entire evolutionary history revolved around evasion and speed. The machine accelerated beyond conventional perception. Lights flashed faster, sound cues overlapped, and targeting algorithms pulled from recorded combat encounters with the Coalition's most lethal predators. Marcus accelerated with it. His palms struck the sensor pads with sharp, rhythmic cracks that echoed through the chamber. His movements blurred, yet each strike landed perfectly. The data stream scrolled faster than Veleth could comfortably track. When the reading stabilized at 81 milliseconds, an audible gasp rippled through the watching cadets. A Krillian whispered a single word, impossible. Still, the test was not finished. The 5th and final level engaged, pushing the machine to its absolute operational capacity. Strobing lights reached intensities that would induce seizures in unshielded species. Sound frequencies cycled through ranges capable of rupturing unaugmented eardrums. This was not merely a reflex test now, it was a simulation of survival against apex predators. Marcus Webb did not slow. His body moved like flowing liquid, each motion seamless and efficient, blending mechanical precision with something deeply organic. Velith watched in stunned realization as the human reacted faster than the machine could reasonably predict. The data dropped again, 72 milliseconds, then 68, then 65. The numbers defied established biological limits. There was something ancient in Marcus's movements, something shaped by millions of years on a world that rewarded rapid reaction and punished hesitation with death. This was not specialized evolution like the Voxen. This was adaptability, honed by constant threat. Then the impossible happened. The machine emitted a grinding whine as internal servos pushed beyond their specifications. Sparks erupted from the response panel. The holographic display flickered wildly before collapsing into darkness. Marcus stepped back instantly, hands raised, his breathing only slightly elevated. The chamber fell into absolute silence. Velith stared at the smoking remains of the testing apparatus, struggling to reconcile what his eyes had witnessed with the data flooding his neural interface. The machine had not malfunctioned due to age or error. It had failed because it was outpaced. The final reading burned itself into his awareness, 61 milliseconds, sustained. 3 centuries of flawless operation ended by a human cadet. Marcus stood quietly nearby, hands still raised in a gesture of compliance. When he finally spoke, his tone was polite, almost apologetic. He asked whether his performance had been sufficient. No one answered. The silence stretched uncomfortably until Velith finally addressed him, noting the machine's long operational history. Marcus offered to pay for the repairs. That, Velith realized, was not the point at all. When pressed for an explanation, Marcus responded with a simple shrug, another curious human gesture. He relayed a saying from his father: humans performed best when something was trying to kill them. The machine, he implied with faint humor, had tried hard enough. The words unsettled Velith more than the destroyed equipment. Later, in the quiet of the faculty lounge, the full implications of the day became clear. Reviewing personnel records, Velith discovered that Marcus Webb was not exceptional among his own species. In preliminary human trials, he had ranked squarely in the middle third of his class. By human standards, Marcus was average. The realization sent a chill through Velith's crystalline frame. If an average human could overwhelm equipment designed to measure the galaxy's finest warriors, then the Coalition's understanding of combat readiness was dangerously incomplete. Humans had not evolved singular advantages like claws, armor, or specialized neural pathways. Instead, they had developed a terrifying generalist trait, the ability to perform under extreme threat, to become faster, sharper, and more lethal when survival was at stake. Velith poured himself a glass of fermented nectar and contemplated a future where humans advanced beyond training simulations and into real combat scenarios. He could already imagine the recalibration reports, the redesigned testing systems, and the strategic revisions that would follow. Somewhere in the facility, he heard human laughter echoing down the corridors, a sharp, barking sound that carried no malice, only amusement. Under different circumstances, it might have been comforting. Instead, it was deeply unsettling. Velith opened Marcus Webb's file and added a notation that would undoubtedly circulate among command staff. Exercise extreme caution. Human reflexes exceed standard parameters. Recommend placement in advanced combat track. After a moment of thought, he added one final line. God help whatever tries to fight them. The following day, Velith stood once again inside the training chamber, now silent except for the low hum of recalibration systems. Engineers worked tirelessly to redesign the reflex apparatus, expanding tolerance thresholds far beyond previous limits. The old assumptions no longer applied. The galaxy had changed, whether it was ready or not. Humanity's entry into the Galactic Coalition had initially been treated as a political alliance, a symbolic expansion rather than a strategic one. Humans were adaptable, yes, but they lacked the obvious evolutionary advantages of older spacefaring species. What Marcus Webb had demonstrated was something far more dangerous, latent capability unlocked by stress. Velith reviewed additional human combat data. Again and again, the pattern repeated. Under controlled conditions, humans performed adequately. Under threat, they became extraordinary. Reaction times shortened. Strength output increased. Pain tolerance spiked. Fear did not paralyze them, it sharpened them. This explained the rumors that had unsettled veteran warriors. Humans did not dominate through specialization. They overwhelmed through escalation. Marcus passed Velith in the corridor later that cycle, offering a friendly nod, entirely unaware of the strategic discussions his performance had triggered. To Marcus, the T